I'd like to introduce you to the Chou Gар Freeman's martial arts training videos. In this video, you're going to see the first form, which is called SARM BO JIN, which means three-step arrow piercing or punching. Three-step arrow piercing and punching deals with the pressure points of the body, namely Dim Ma. Also incorporated in this video is the Muay Fa Jong. Muay Fa Jong means plum blossom pose, and we use them to develop our steps or our footwork. Last but not least, Dim Ma is called spot hitting, and it is a very important subject in the Chinese martial arts, and especially in this system, Chou Gar Freeman's. There are many complexities involved in Dim Ma, and maybe a video will not be long enough to see those complexities. However, to show you how complex the art of Dim Ma is, for instance, certain things say on the left side, you should hit in the morning, on the right side in the afternoon, the blood is on the left side and the chi is on the right side in the morning, etc., etc. And certain times of the day are incorporated in the art of Dim Ma. Dim Ma is a very complicated subject, and over the course of all the videos, I will try to share this knowledge with you. So I'm going to start off first and foremost with the first form, which is called SARM BO JIN, or three-step arrow punching. from the front and from the side. There's a great deal in that form, and emphasize on, for instance, exercising the ribs and projecting your energy down your arms, in your legs, gripping your toes. But before we start that, I'm going to go teach you the steps of the first form. So feet together, place your hands on the waist, put the right leg forward, and take 3 steps. From there, knee raise, left, right. From there, half step, left leg forward, left leg across, pivot round, and then put the right leg out, and take 3 steps back. Half step, left leg forward, left leg across, pivot round, and put the right leg out. Step forward, step back, step forward, step back, step forward, step back, and finish. I will do that from the side. Take the right path. Take 3 steps forward. Knee raise. Half step. Left leg forward. Left leg across. Turn. Place the right leg out. Step forward, going back 3 times. Half step, left leg forward, left leg across, pivot round, put the right leg out. Forward and back. And finish. Okay, you've seen the footwork of the SARM BO JIN form. Okay, now I'm going to show you the hand movements and their procedure. First, feet together, 2 phoenix-like fists. And I'll show a close-up of that in a minute. Place them on your chest. Put the right leg forward. Okay, now you see a close-up of the fist, the phoenix-eye fist. This is known as forearm in Cantonese. Here are the phoenix-eye fists placed on your chest. First, bring both hands outwards, coming away from your chest. There is tension in your arms, legs pulling in. Go down slowly with tension. At this point, Both hands down, known as tapsal. Both hands come up with tension. From here, elbow strike up, back and forward. Tension again, going downwards. At this point, tapsal. Lift both hands up with tension, breathing in. Both arms face upwards, press forward and up into the tan heel position. From here, feels out, thrusting fingers, and then G-leg, each finger coming in. Bring the elbows in first, and finally grip. I will do that again, this time from the side. This time I will emphasize on the breathing. First, you're in the right stance. When you're doing the form, there's gripping with the toes, legs, and the backside, stomach, arms. Place both hands on your chest. Come out. Breathe in. At this point, tapsal, exhale. Lift up both arms, breathing in. From here, 1, 2, and exhale at this point. Breathe in. Then tapsal and breathe out. Lift up both arms, breathing in. Feels out and breathe out. Breathe in, pull in each finger. At this point, exhale. They are the first initial 8 movements of the first form. And I'm going to show you a close-up of the G-leg, the finger power, with one arm, so you can see a close-up of my fingers. First, you punch, then open the fingers slowly, then feels out, then each finger claws in. First, the index finger, then the longest finger, then your ring finger, and finally the last finger, and it ends up in this fist known as Gurna Choi. Gurna Choi means ginger fist. The arms will do this when you punch, thrust, and pull in. From here, step forward, double punch with the phoenix eye fist. Thrust and pull in. Step forward again. Punch, you breathe out when you punch. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, exhale. Breathe in, step forward, punch, breathe out. Open slowly, breathing in, thrust, pull in, and exhale. From here, turn to the side, come up, knee raise, left leg, right leg, turn, 1, 2, 3. From there, half step, left leg forward, punch, toes out, left leg across, turn, pull the right leg up, step forward, punch, thrust, pull in, step forward, punch, thrust, pull in, step forward, punch, thrust, pull in. Half step, left leg forward, punch, up, turn together and then finish the form. I'm going to show that again, this time from the side view. From the initial 8th position, forward, punch, open slowly, feels out, pull in. Step forward, punch, feels out, pull in. Step forward again, punch, feels out, pull in. Just done, sit in front, knee raised, turn, half step, left leg forward, punch, out, left leg across, turn, forward, punch, thrust, pull in, forward, punch, thrust, pull in, forward, punch, thrust, pull in, half step forward, punch, out, turn, step forward, step back, step forward, step back, step forward, punch, step back, dao kill. The dao kill position, when you're pulling, don't do this. Elbow in, this one, here, in that position, with the nut out, the nut hooking hand, in the center of your body. Don't let the elbow touch your stomach. Keep away. This is the dao kill position known as upside down technique. Okay, so you've seen the first one in a basic sense because there's a great deal of emphasis on that form. I'd like to start off with why you hold your hands here and why the backs are touching. It's very simple. For instance, if your hand was like this and someone was to press against it, you can slip it out. You can just twist the hand back, or if it was this way, you can twist it out. If it was like this, you're trapped. This is one explanation that we have for the reasons we have our hands on our chest. The next reason is much more better, is that the strongest power that you have comes from here, this power here. And that's why your hands start here in the Chou Gар frame system. Your power starts there. So there's two explanations for that. There is a few more. The length of this video is not long enough to explain, but I want to get back to some of the other important aspects of this first form. When you come out, you breathe. Breathe in. The tongue should press the upper palate of your mouth. Your chin should be in, shouldn't be coming forward. Keep your chin back, head straight, chin down, like this. Secondly, when you come out, you open the ribs. And then as you go down, this exercise is known as dip guat gong, or rib bone power. And we emphasize that a lot in the southern frame system, Chou Gar frame system, to develop our gain or hitting power from an inch force. Inch force power, this is the name of gain. Just like if someone was to touch you with a spoon, a hot spoon, your reaction is very, very, very sudden. So you're coming down, this is the first practice of the dip guat gong in a basic sense. You come down, your energy should be focused here as you come down. At this point, taps out, again closing the feet, the legs, you should be pulling inwards here, just to say you had something between your legs and you was holding it, the toes should be gripping the floor. In other words, they should be gripping like this. That's very important when you do the first form. Don't forget to grip the toes when doing the first form. That's very, very important. Form plays an important part in SARM BO JIN form. From this one form, even though it's our very first form, it can also be termed as an advanced form as well. Because basically the first form of any martial art system, if it's traditional, plays an important aspect throughout the whole entire system. In other words, if you know the first form, you can understand the whole system of the style much more completely. So we're coming down, we come up. When you come up, you're breathing in. Emphasize the energy on the inside of your forearm. In other words, we have four sides in the mantis system, known as the four parts of the arm. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And it's called safe balancing, the four directions. And this is the first emphasis of developing those first powers of the forearm. So you're coming up, elbow strike, dang or come back, and then again with the ribs and the back, you tongue down. The elbow comes out. And then you start the whole form again. When you do tang kill, bring the elbows up. Again, emphasizing on the quad gong. Come up to the tang kill position, builds up. And then with each finger, you pull in to this position, bow kill position. When you step forward and punch, you punch with the phoenix side fist, builds out. Now when you do builds out, again, dip quad gong. Dip quad gong is each power, dip quad gong, gang tang gang. Pull in, elbow in first. And all the time you are emphasizing on these important aspects of the SARM BO JIN form. Another thing that what the first form will help is it will build up your resistance for you to not be able to build up your resistance against being hit. In other words, like if someone hits your arm, if you've been doing SARM BO JIN for many years and someone tries to do a demarche strike on you, you're resistant to it because first form of the southern pragmatic system, Chou Gар pragmatic system, closes up the holes, which is known as holes. Such as here, the elbow, here, the armpit. In actual fact, the armpit becomes very hard. So the ribs also become crushed, like crushing the ribs almost, all the time. This is deep quad gong. The back side is also pulled in, and then made very hard. The legs, here, this here is developed. So all the holes, throughout, when we say holes, I mean in the soft parts of the body, are actually closed. Even the groin, the testicles, within time, that come up into the body through doing SARM BO JIN. It's known as sun soft kick. This is to develop this kind of skill. So you have the first form, and hopefully you can try to practice that as much as you can. What I'm going to do now is finish off the first form from the side view. the first form, SARM BO JIN, which means three-step arrow punching, three-step piercing. You have also seen the stepping patterns which we do on the Muay Thai Jong, or the plum blossom pole training poles, which has numerous different stepping patterns. The first one that you learn is retained to the basic stepping of the first form. In the first form, we have certain techniques which are related to pressure point striking. Each technique in the first form has at least a minimum of three different applications which relate to pressure points or nerve strikes of the body. There are many different types of pressure points. Tendon pressure points, bone and ligament pressure points, nerve pressure points, and times and energy and times of the day pressure points. The times of the day pressure points are hard to understand, but what I've done is that also I know three different levels, three different time levels. I know a 2-hourly time level, I know an hourly time level, and I also know a half-hourly time level, which Grandmaster deals with specifically. Now, what I've done is I've made up a sketch for you showing the 2-hourly time levels, as well as a drawing to show you some of the basic principles of the time pressure points. These are not the only pressure points that we deal with, but this is a rough sketch, and I will show you right now.
Here is the 2-hourly time level. For instance, the gallbladder time is from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning. It comes under the wood element. Liver 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., lungs 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., large intestine 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., stomach 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., spleen 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., heart 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., small intestine 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., bladder time 3 p.m. till 5 p.m., kidney 5 p.m. to 7 p.m, pericardium time 7 p.m. to 9 p.m, triple heater, Sanjiao is also known, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m, and so the cycle begins again. And here's the Chinese characters for each of those particular times. This goes by the body clock in actual fact. You cannot say directly at 11 p.m, for instance. It happens, it all flows in one another. It goes by the body clock in actual fact. Here is for instance, to give an example of certain places that you hit, and at particular times of day it becomes more effective. For instance, if you look on the top of the head, for instance, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m, if you hit that point, then it's more dangerous. And these 2 points here, between the 11 p.m. and 1 p.m, it's said that if you hit any of these particular points, the person will die in one day. It's very dangerous indeed. There is a whole series of these that I have in my collection of Dim Mak striking, and here is another name for Dim Mak, also known as Joy Horn Kit as well, which Joy Horn Kit means actually to strike the vital areas.
Okay, so you see some sketches that I put up for you on the screen, and these sketches deal with a 2-hourly time level of the body. The last sketch you saw was said to have that if you hit those particular points, you will die after 1 day. Some relate to you will die after 7 years, some after 1 year, some after a few months. This can be called delayed death touch, but really Dim Mak doesn't mean delayed death touch. Actually, it is a form of spot hitting, energy hitting or blood hitting. It has an effect over the blood, for instance, the Dim Mak strikes. Now, how much emphasis you want to place on particular times of the day depends on you and your study. The deeper you go into it, the more you understand, then you may place emphasis on a particular time of the day. Also important about pressure point striking is to understand the 5 elements. For instance, fire, metal, wood, earth, water. Now, why this plays an important part is in the body, certain meridians in the body come under a certain element. For instance, the heart meridian here and the cardium and the sands come under the element of fire. Now, if we hit a fire meridian, then hit a metal meridian, which is the lung or the large intestine meridian, it has, you get more pain. If I hit the fire, then the metal meridian, you get more pain. And likewise, if you hit the metal first, and then hit the wood, which is the gallbladder or the liver, you get more pain. And likewise, this is how fire relates to one another. In other words, fire melts metal, metal cuts wood, wood draws earth, earth becomes water, water douses fire. So the cycle begins again. So if you really understand pressure points, and you understand about water douses fire, for instance, if you hit a water meridian first, such as the kidney or the bladder, and then you hit the fire meridian, you can hurt the person much more. And if you do the opposite way, not much happens. So this is a really in-depth study of pressure points. There is a form that we have in the Chou Gар framework system, which is to deal with the 5 element forms. And this is what actually happens. And actually everything in the materialistic universe is made up of those 5 elements. Okay, so we have the pressure points. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the application. Okay, now I'd like to explain to you the first form, the application of the first form, SARM BO JIN, and related to the pressure points right to the body. I would like to make a note, however, that if you learn the form, you will not forget the pressure points. But if you just learn the pressure points by itself, you will most likely forget them. You forget some, or remember this, or remember that. But if you learn the form, you will also learn the pressure points. And vice versa. Learn the pressure points, understand the form, understand the pressure points. Understand the pressure points, you will understand the form much more clearly. So, when you start first form, the first thing you do is place your hands in the chest like this, you come out like this, you come down, you grip your arms here, and when you reach this point, you press down. Again, press down with the ribs, and thrust downwards into the bladder. This technique, going down here, represents the energy going in a downward position, into the bladder. There's pressure points here that we hit. Now, for instance, to do a little test on this, if I punch it straight on into the stomach, it doesn't hurt it half as much if I punch downwards, because it pushes those nerves down. So what actually happens is you can actually paralyze the legs of the person by hitting these gastric nerves here. As well as this, you can make him pee himself. If you hit that hard, of course, you can actually pierce the bladder, which is a very dangerous technique. From here we come up like this. We come up, we go 1, 2, and 3. Again, using dip platform, which is a rib training exercise. If you haven't seen the dip platform exercise in the other videos, then maybe you should see those as well, because they're very useful in the stuff frame system. But the second technique after this is an elbow strike. You come here, an elbow strike to the side, or to the ribs, or it can be used to release the person here, to get him on the pressure point on the wrist, and you will have to let go. Here. The second technique, if someone's behind, we can use an elbow strike. You come here, an elbow strike to the solar plexus, and just below the solar plexus, there is another point, which is a heart point. It's about an inch down from the solar plexus. And if you hit this point, it makes the person very agitated as well. He goes very hot. And this is a useful technique if someone's very aggressive. By punching back or elbowing that into that person, it becomes very agitated, it is very aggressive, it can make him pass out. It's a very dangerous point because it actually links into the heart. It's about an inch down from the solar plexus itself. The next technique comes from here, comes around. We can use the elbow. Remember, as well, is that there is a minimum of 3 applications to each single technique. So these first 8 movements that I'm showing have at least 24 different applications that can be used, which is ideal for street or self-defense. For instance, if you grab me from that, we can make him release. That's that technique. It's so simple because you go against the weakest part of his hand and releases. I can also use it for an elbow strike, coming in close, crashing elbow strike into the ribs, smashing across the on the left side into the liver. Or we can come into this pressure point here, which is about ½ inch up, or hit the pressure point which is here into the tricep and strike. We can easily go in and break the arm as well. So this is that technique. The reason why you do it double is a reference to say that it can be done on the left and the right side. The next technique is we go down again into the pressure points here, straight in. There's a nerve that runs into the groin and into the legs that sits in there, and if you get on those pressure points there, you send the pain directly into that nerve. And if you want, as I say, another scientific thing about pressure points is, say for instance, if I hit a pressure point, for instance, say here, he feels pain there, his brain can deal with it. If I hit a pressure point here and there, his brain has to deal with it, both here and there. But if I hit 1, 2, 3, his brain may not be able to deal with it, so it causes a shutdown. A sort of an overload, so to speak. So this is where hitting the arms first, and then striking. This is why I believe it's called Southern Chou Gар praying mantis, because if you notice about praying mantis, the small little insect, it dissects the hand. It actually tears off the hands of its, the arms or its legs of its prey, and then eats the centre part. So this is one explanation why I believe it's called praying mantis, because you actually hit the pressure points on the arms, smash, and then come in. A little test that I also explained about the pressure points is that I may have explained earlier on, which I think I did, about the 5 elements. Fire, metal. If I hit him if I hit it here, it feels pain. But if I hold the heart point here and then hit, it hurts it more. It's feeling the pain straight away. So by just holding it, and then we can send more pain to it. You're actually stopping the energy going down in actual fact. So coming back to this point, that point, the next one called tang kill. As I said, 3 different applications for that technique. The first one you can use against a grab, turn over the head, expose it here. The second technique is, as it punches forward, I come in and directly into the front. But again, pressure point related. Just here, you've got the liver on this side, and also you've got 2 stomach points here. And it's very dangerous to actually hit those in an upward direction. So this is where this technique is going into that pressure points here. Just about 1 inch below the nipples themselves, directly in. Secondly, the ribs, along here, the ribs, the nerves are underneath each rib. They don't sit on top. So I know the little test I'm going to do, nerve. The second technique, the seventh technique, is here. Again, into the pressure points, which sit on the shoulder, straight in. Can be done on both sides. That's why 1, 2, that little bit of dip button presses down here. You've got the pressure point here. In actual fact, you've got the radial nerve, you've got the median nerve, and you've got the ulnar nerve. And they sort of go up to here into the neck, and where the actual muscle runs down, that's where that nerve there also belongs to this same nerve. It sort of comes from one, goes into three. So if you just press that and that, it gets more pain. So this is the same nerve. The next technique, you come in from here, you pull in. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can use this as a pull down. That's that technique there. Exposing the side of his neck. We do this 3 times. Step forward, punch, thrust. Another thing is about hip striking. The important part of hip striking as well is that if I wanted to punch him into the stomach or into the solar plexus or anything, if I punch him like this, what happens is if I stop short, it grips. As soon as he releases, then I come with a strike. So it's like going 1, he grips, bang, and I come again. Because once it's gripped, it's got to relax and grip again. As soon as he opens up, in I come. Just like breathing in and punching him can have a drainage effect on his energy. And I may have explained in other videos about the importance of breathing. There are certain masters who are very good at the art of spot hitting, can actually know when to strike you just by your breath. As soon as you breathe in, that's a temptation for them to strike you, and it could cause a drainage on you. So this point, we've done this 3 times, and we come across here and see it in front. 1, 2. I then use this to break his grip, coming across. I can also use it. Here there's a pressure point in both sides. This is where the bone is. Here. There's a pressure point there. And when this technique is to actually hit that pressure point, it numbs the whole arm. Especially if I wanted to grab a pressure point up here and strike that one and then come up. In actual fact, you should never do heart strikes on the left-hand side, because this is the side where you have heart attacks. When you have a heart attack, this is the left arm, you feel the pain go down the left arm. It's the energy. It's like, someone not so long ago, I hit somebody here, and at the same time I hit 2 pressure points here. The pain where he felt it was in the heart. I went bang, felt the pain, and all I had to do is a follow-up into the heart, and that he could have had a serious heart attack, possibly not been able to recover. So never do anything on the left-hand side. In a street fight, doesn't matter. You're attacked, you have to do it. You have to defend yourself. This is what martial arts is about. But it's an art. The art of attacking, point striking. Another thing is that there's not too much blocking in Chinese martial arts. A lot of people say that this is a block, this is a block. But the thing is, if he punches me and I block, the difference between me and him is that I'm on the inside and he's on the outside. If he punches me and I block from the outside, the difference between me is I'm on the outside and he's on the inside. So it doesn't leave us anywhere. But a good block should push him over to the position, push him over, making him a better target to strike. Or a lot of our techniques come back like this. Our first basic 6 hand movements actually comes back like this. Each one of them, it goes out, it comes back. striking the nerve, the pressure points here. The lung pressure points, the large intestine pressure points are here. And actually cut it back, just hit it there. So that's why a good block is coming back over here. Coming back like this. Again, remember what I said about metal cutting wood? I cut metal, I'm hitting metal, the gallbladder and the liver come under the element wood. Metal cuts wood. So from there, bang, straight in. So this is why our blocking techniques as such are very short, come back and then go in. We never block something like this. Or you punch me, stop it there, punch the other end. Stop it like this. It doesn't do anything. But if you punch me and I push, see how his body's going on? That's a much superior block. But even then, blocking should be simple and it shouldn't be too complex because anybody blocks anyway. I just do that and do it out of the way. So you shouldn't be too wrapped up in blocking. Very fierce attacking to attack the pressure points. Okay, from here we've done this, we've got a knee raise. We come straight into the groin or into the pressure points here. Because we're controlling one metal point, and next minute is the next technique is wood pressure points. From here, this can be used to when someone grabs, turn him over. At the same time, the next point is that because I hit against metal pressure points, up here on the head, there are two pressure points. They're above the eye. There's 1, 2, and there's some up here. And this technique, it goes 1, 2, 3. This one is hit. And then two pressure points. And twist. Bang, hit it. If that doesn't work, pull it in the beginning, you can't grab it in, pull it back, and you can use your head. From here it goes 1, 2. Now actually, one of the other grab it, it's not quite right. Unless, yeah, pull him and pull him onto my head, like a headbutt. So the two pressure points here, these are the gallbladder pressure points. And you see up here, that's the gallbladder is linked to the pressure point on the toe, which I'll mark out here. So 1, 2, 3, half step, left leg forward, and punch. So the half step, we go half step. Okay, the half step footwork goes 1, 2. I'll show that again. Half step, left leg forward. The half step technique is this technique, and it's to hit the pressure point on your opponent's foot. There's a pressure point, it's here, and it belongs to the gallbladder pressure point, which runs up the leg, outside of the leg, back up to the head. This is a weak part of the foot as well. And when I hit that pressure point, I should also twist on it as well, twist. But even if I press that with my index finger, the pain is so unbearable. That's a joint and tendon pressure point, and there's a small nerve in there as well. So I already described to you, shown you, pressure points on the foot. Half step, left leg forward, punch, bolt out. The next technique. Again, grabbing if there's a nerve and the pressure point here, and the fingers suggest energy going down, and the pressure point either side here or there, press down and it goes in. Go into that person, set that energy down. You can work on both sides. So that's that technique. Secondly, also this technique can be used, for instance, onto the solar plexus. If I punch in, but if I punch in and give a downward strike towards it, it hurts it. So this If I grab his pressure point here, on here, and it's down, and it gives him a terrible pain, try to action that, it makes him almost feel sick. We do this technique, in he goes. Then you turn around and you do 3 steps, pulling in, punch, thrust, pulling in, punch, thrust, 3 times, half step, pull up, punch, turn around, and then repeat this exercise, and then finish. And that's the first form. And as I say, there is much more to the first form. You can spend a lifetime on this one form, and you can understand the whole system from that technique.